The Queen and I. The Queen is dead. Long live the King. I knew I would hear these words in my lifetime, but it still came as a shock when I did. Queen Elizabeth II has been in my life since birth and has been the only constant throughout the last 5 decades. I arrived as a baby, survived adolescence, reached adulthood, and now I have my own granddaughter, my whole life overseen by the same head of state. I have watched prime ministers come and go, some quicker than others. The country has dramatically changed during her reign. Abject poverty eliminated, birth control, the internet, smartphones, and international travel for everybody. Not all changes have been positive. The breakdown of the family, the lack of father involvement continues to blight society. Many social issues are related to this change. It has also affected the monarchy, for they are a family when you look beyond the pomp and ceremony. The first real memory I have of the Queen was in 1977, when as a nation we celebrated her Silver Jubilee, 25 years on the throne. My mum and neighbours organised a street party with Union flags everywhere and tables full of food. Cupcakes decorated with Union flag were my mum's contribution. She painstakingly iced the red, white and blue stripes on each cupcake. It was definitely worth it, as this is my main memory of the party as a 9-year-old boy. In 1988, I was working as a cocktail barman at Pontins in Brixham, a small fishing village in South Devon. I did not know that 300 years prior to my arrival, there had been another visitor in the form of Prince William III of Orange. He was the husband of the daughter of King James II. He and his army landed at Brixham and marched to London to take the throne. The following year, William III and his wife were anointed King and Queen of England, Scotland and Ireland. This ended the reign of Catholic monarchs and secured a continuous procession of Protestant rule up to today. The Queen visited Brixham on the 31st of July to celebrate this historic landing. I walked into the village centre to see her and the celebrations. My memory of this day is of her in a green coat and green hat. I even bought some photos of her visit from a professional local photographer as a memento. Just to make sure my memory is what it should be, I googled this visit to check that she was wearing a green coat and hat. When the photos popped up on my screen, the memories flooded back. It is a special day when you see your monarch. My next memory is connected to a purely selfish benefit. In 2002, to celebrate her Golden Jubilee, 50 years on the throne, I received an extra bank holiday. I have spent most of my working life as self-employed, which means days off are worthless, for you never switch off from work. But during this decade, I was an employee and received an extra paid day away from work. It has never happened before and will probably never happen again. I enjoyed that day more than most. In 2019, I was awarded an MBE in Her Majesty's New Year's Honour List for my work with young people and in the charity sector. This was the greatest day in my life up to that point. I was 51 years old. Before you receive such an award, you are asked if you will accept one if offered. This reflects the current state of our nation, for citizens do reject the recognition and praise from their head of state, their monarch. I am a patriot. I needed no time to think about such an inquiry. COVID got in the way of my visit to the palace to receive this honour. 2 years later, I was offered an opportunity but declined. They had enough people on the waiting list who wanted to visit the palace. They did not need me as an extra burden. I had been honoured. That was enough for me. I arranged for the Lord Lieutenant, the monarch's representative in Greater Manchester, to come to my home and present the medal. Nice and simple. My final memory of Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, was the day she died. I was at home watching a film on TV. the boys from Brazil. I had not seen the news that day, as I had been working, so I did not know about the reports concerning her poor health. Partway through this Gregory Peck film, I checked my phone and Twitter. Shock is the only word to describe my reaction. I am not an overly emotional man. I do not cry. Not even sure if I have ever cried as an adult. I instantly knew my life and country had changed, and we had entered a new era. She was the longest serving UK monarch. Her continued presence had been reassuring through the troubles and strife every country faces. She was never concerned about her own personal convenience or benefit. She did her duty as instructed by God, and she served her people. Her greatest legacy will be her firstborn, if he can grasp the reins. We need him to lead the monarchy along the same path it has traversed for the past 7 decades. Our new king has trained all his life for this role. We need him to be the son of the most amazing monarch in our lifetime. I wish him well. God save the king.